So, I had the idea to have my friend, who has never played Genshin before, log into my Genshin account, which is, an invested account that has quite a lot of different characters and plenty of, really good builds going. I want to have him jump straight into Spiral Abyss after looking at some characters and whatever, and see if he can 36-star the hardest endgame content in Genshin Impact. He is familiar with playing different difficult video games. He's the one that got me into playing Elden Ring, so he can definitely handle some difficult games. And I mean, how much you think Genshin is a difficult game is up to you, but that's kind of the point of this video is, how much does getting, really good artifacts help you, right? Because it can feel like these do a lot, but also presumably skill, knowledge, whatever you want to call it, has an effect as well. But how much of an effect? So let's just go find out. Here we have my friend Levi is now playing on my account for the first time. You're playing Genshin, right? I think you.
Yeah, I've literally never opened this game before.
Yeah, I'm assuming you've seen a little bit of it. I don't know. Do you know
anything?
anything?
You can't help but show me things, so I have seen things. Yeah,
well, that's true, I guess. Yeah, well, that implies I'm shoving Genshin in your face all the time.
You kind of are, yeah.
Am I?
I mean, not that often, but bringing it up pretty much once a week, so it's your livelihood. It makes sense.
I don't deny bringing it up because yes, but it's not how this video is supposed to start. Sorry.
All right.
This is an enemy, right?
Yes, it is an enemy.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching. I just wanted to see what you would do with the character.
I can just figure out what is a thing to do. The icons aren't very self-explanatory.
Yeah, so my approach to this, right? So the idea is I want to see if you can clear the endgame content, having basically never played Genshin before, right? You don't know what the icons mean. You don't know what the characters kits are like.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the reaction system?
No.
No. Okay.
I remember learning. You said there was a. No, actually, I don't have any recollection of anything you've told me.
I wouldn't expect you to. Obviously, you've played plenty of video games before, though, right? So
right.
You're not I suspect you'll have a better time than if I had my mom play the game.
You had your mom play this?
No, I could.
Oh, you're saying if you did? Okay.
If I did. Anyway, so I guess let's start just with a basic overview of what character kits are like. And then I think I can just have you go through some of the characters, and you can just pick out by just straight vibes alone characters you like.
God knows I'm going to be picking out by vibes.
And I can try to give some basic recommendations of teams, different options, and then we can go to the end game combat called Spiral Abyss, and we'll see if you can succeed after just a very basic overview on what character kits do. So that ability, the triangle ability, is the character's ultimate or their burst. So if I say burst, it's the same thing. And then the R2 is the character's skill. And those do different things on every character in the game. And then you're doing normal attacks with her sword, so characters have different weapon types. There's different tendencies that different characters with different weapon types have, but particularly lately, newer Genshin characters are very loose with a sword unit doesn't necessarily do much with their sword.
Right.
So the kits can be very different from each other. The weapon type can mean something, but also it doesn't necessarily mean something. It's a detail that's probably unimportant for you right now. Yeah, knowing that there's a skill and burst is important, and then knowing that you can do normal attacks is important. You definitely don't necessarily do normal attacks on everyone. This is a team-based game where obviously you're active on field with one character at a time, and you switch between different characters. This team in particular is actually a bad example of this, but the general dynamic for teams and how they play in Genshin is you set up your buffing and off-field damage dealing units, and then you swap to an on-fielder, and then do damage on them, right? This actually is a team where you spend shorter field time on some of the units in favor of more balanced field time on multiple units. But if you want to play this team in the Spiral Abyss, I can certainly give you some more specifics on how these characters work. Just that's the basic overview. Generally speaking, most characters want to use their skill and burst in most contexts, and you can see it's a little vortex effect right there. So you have two charges of that, and then you can get her skill back. You could do her skill multiple times in a rotation. Oh, sorry. A rotation is just the cycle of switching between different characters. I have to catch myself. Yeah, I have not really Rocket League on it, but I have to catch myself from I'm going to use so much Genshin lingo. So feel free to call me out and what the hell did you say?
Yeah, if I catch you saying something, I don't know. I'm going to be playing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, every character I'd say here that's level 70 or over is usable. You can see after 3 years of playing Genshin, you have a lot of characters you can use.
This
a
is
lot
the
of
one
different
character I
options.
know about, and he's only level 60, so I'm surprised. Because isn't he like one of the first characters?
He was one of the earlier characters in the game. Yeah.
So you just don't like him?
There's other characters I think that have a similar playstyle to him, is what I would say. That I enjoy more.
You can just say it. You don't like Diluc? Diluc? I don't know how you pronounce his
D-Luke,
name.
I think is his name. The thing is, I don't want to tell you like you have to play this specific team though, because then I'm just telling you what to do too much. I feel like.
This one's got your name.
Yeah, that's the main character, the traveler.
Yeah, I did know that.
So yeah, I just want you to like pick out some characters you like for whatever reason, so you can go through them as you are. And then I can make some suggestions for different teammates for them.
I'm trying to determine a criteria here. I guess you said you're going to help me build out. I was just going to pick like all people who have
You can pick
animal ears or something.
I mean, you can do that if you want.
A ninja. I'll try her.
So this character, oh god, you chose a perfect one. That's like the hardest one to like. So this is a character that can be very strong, but in a very specific context.
Yeah.
That is way too much explanation to try to explain to you. But if you want to use the character, we can figure something out. Normally, the main thing that's relevant when you press her skill, she does that little electro ring, and then she does that off field. You just did a.
Is that something she can do, or just?
No, that's something you can just do in this area. It's an exploration gimmick for this area.
Cool. Oh, I see. So she can like set it up for other people.
Yeah, and that can trigger different effects. A little bit harder to use that character on field. My channel is kind of specialized in trying to use characters in unconventional ways. So
Right.
I'd be more than happy to try to guide you towards trying to figure out how to use someone like Kuki on field.
This guy looks cool.
You're just picking healers. It's another healer.
Okay, how about him? All right, I'm good.
Strongest team in the game. So for him, yeah, press his skill, do the little balls, and then hold his normal attack. And then you can aim. Yeah, you get the hydro beam. That's his kit.
Neat.
That's basically his entire kit. So use his skill. He heals your team, and he applies his element. He also gives a shield, which can help you prevent you from getting like interrupted by an enemy whacking you. Your characters are healing. She doesn't heal because she has a passive that she takes reduced damage, but she only heals when she uses her own ultimate.
Oh, so she can't even heal from the thing I just added.
Yeah, correct. So she's an exception. I'm using you chose the healer and then the character that can't heal. She's the only character in the game.
That sounds like a good comp.
That little red mark you put on this guy, by the way. If you hold Arlecchino's normal attack, you see that red mark. It will change.
Death mark and risk drain too.
Yeah, basically. Although normally you want to wait a few seconds before you absorb it, but you did that charge attack. She has a little bar down below. Now you can do normal attacks again.
Okay.
So her gameplay is
She hurts
basically-
herself.
You did burn yourself, I think, and take a bunch of
Okay,
damage.
so that's it. It's more that I was standing in fire that I set ablaze myself.
Yes, I
mean,
think so.
still feel like she hurts herself that way. Definitely, I'd say that the thing that's most challenging to this, because I'm, like you said, played games a lot, so it's easy enough for me to just be like, oh, I can just get more familiar with the fact that this is the run, this is the like hit, this is the jump button.
Yep.
But do this, then switch to another character, then do this, then switch to a third character, do that, and then switch back to the first character.
Yep.
Something I've always struggled with too, that I think I'm going to probably have a problem with this is it's something that's like in Final Fantasy, the new Final Fantasy 7s, and maybe the old ones too. Like health is not necessarily something that's a demerit against you to lose. You just have to kind of keep an eye on it, heal up when you're like fighting, and keep that cycle going. And this is like that on steroids because you have multiple characters to keep an eye on. How are they doing? Okay, so out of all these characters, because she scares me.
She scares you?
Because I can't. Because like I said, I had issues with healing, and so
Sure.
she
Okay.
can't get healed.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah,
He's the one I like the most. This.
Yeah, if you didn't notice, he heals himself.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I think I'll start with him because out of all these ones, the one on the left, I think I just wasn't really understanding how to really use him, but felt like a nothing burger because it was just like sort of healing stuff, but then I didn't know what I was doing to the enemies.
Yeah,
she again just scares me. He's powerful but scary, and then he's just weak. So that's
accurate statements all around. The one that says a little 5 on it in the third row on the left.
Okay, this one. I was like, man, there's a lot of numbers going on here. Okay, this one.
Yeah, prototype Amber. Yep.
So then, if I want to do well with him as kind of the centerpiece that I've chosen, what are the supporting flowers that go with the centerpiece?
You picked
Right,
one
so
that
it
has
sounds
lots
like-
of team options. The one notable thing I'll say for synergy to help you, because I don't want to tell you to pick just the strongest things, like I said. Right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So if you go read his,
She's
you can-
cool. I mean, just looking at this description, what's funny to me is that like I can tell that vaporize, frozen, electrocharge, bloom, hydroswirl, all these are like
Yeah, these are elemental
Types.
reactions. Yeah.
right. And the fact that they have to list them all out like that is crazy.
Yeah, because they have to be specific what the things actually do.
Right.
But yeah, it's just this is where the layer of reaction or interactions between different characters just explodes to ridiculous permutations, right? So, anyways, this character, right? So he's a Hydra unit. This passive basically means his beam does more damage when you pair him with different element combinations of characters. That would be my main recommendation, is at least putting a couple different element characters that are doing either off-field damage or at least buffing him in some form.
Okay.
So I can give you a list of, if you want to just like go one by one, I would just say like
sure.
whether or not a character is an
She one of them?
off-field. She's an on-field DPS.
Wait, so something I don't know if you mentioned and I just didn't pick up, but when it comes to composing a team, is it something that you typically want to do where you have one person that you mainly do on field and like you're trying to beat them to do most of the damage and everyone else is trying to be in support of that, or is it like a mix?
It can definitely be a mix. The stronger a character's kit is, the more people tend towards just buffing them as much as possible. So anyways, if we go one by one in the characters, I can just say like yes or no whether these are characters that are off field without having to go more in depth in their kit. Just keep things simple.
Okay.
So she is a buffer, so not an off field damage dealer, but just a buffer. This one would be really funny if you picked out, but I'm not going to explain why, but she's an on-field DPS.
Well, I mean, you've just made me too curious now, so I have to go see what she does.
So go find enemies, damage the enemies, right?
Okay.
So
that's fun, which I dig that because I'm like big fan of movement in games. So just the fact that you just kind of move into all the enemies and that's the way that you kind of use her that's fun. But I think that's going to give me issues. So no to her.
So by the way, we need 2 teams. I forgot to say that.
Oh, 2 teams?
Yeah.
You didn't explain that.
I totally forgot, dude. I'm sorry. I'm
going to fail the test.
It's part of the reason it's worth discussing multiple on-field units. You need 2 teams to clear the end game combat. He's a buffer. She's an off-field. She buffs and she does damage off-field. This character can be an on-field DPS or off-field damage dealer and elemental player.
Very cool looking character. Oh, I'm gonna.
Archon reporting for battle.
Oh, she's okay. That's another thing I learned.
What?
So she's an Archon. Is an Archon like the big?
Oh, she said she's an Archon.
No, she didn't. She said Archon reporting for battle. So I assume that means that she is an Archon. Aren't those like the big lore people?
Yes, they're stronger in lore for sure. It doesn't actually mean their kid is strong.
Right. Oh, he's cool. I can feel it. He's got 2 different colored eyes.
Feel the energy.
Exactly. He's the main character.
He is an off-field damage dealer and buffer. This one is a Geo off-field damage dealer.
I was picking the first, trying to pick the first ones. I just kind of felt like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll just do this because I think there's a lot of dynamics I can learn more about and get better at.
Yep.
But the point is, I think of this video, I kind of want to just take these and be like, all right, I'm just gonna game and see what happens.
Pretty much, yeah.
I do need to pick another team.
So her kit, mostly you press her skill. You basically click normal, press her skill, click normal attack 3 times, and then press her skill again. She zoops forward into the enemy, and then you do normal attack 3 times, press her skill, do normal attack 3 times, press her skill. That's her gameplay dynamic, and then you use her ult whenever it's kind of available, basically.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Does she have a limit to how much she can do? Okay. It's just like a hard timer, I'm guessing.
Yeah, she's in that special state for a certain amount of time. Yep.
Okay, I dig her. And back to here. Okay, so I've picked her.
Yep.
Then I've got to pick.
So if you wanted to use this team, you would have to switch out Mawika either in the other team or in this team.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that though. I'm gonna pick the characters that I think are cool in this one. I'm not even gonna let you give me any influence on whether or not this is a good team. I'm just going to look through the characters and be like, I like because I Chlorine or whatever, how you pronounce her name, she's cool. And I gotta find. Wait, where's the guy with the briefcase?
Oh God.
Here we go. Like I dig the look. I don't know if I want to fight as a character that looks like a Victorian. I mean, she just looks pretty cool, badass. Okay, I can do that, and then.
It would be really fun. Honestly, just pick whatever the heck you want to do. Even if it's like a bunch of on-fielders together, you might.
That's what I was thinking. Like at this point, I don't know how the game works. You don't really need to coach me. I'm just going to absorb it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what? This is my team. Okay, that's pretty quirky. Okay, so where do I have to go? Where should I generally be heading to get killed?
Yeah. Anyways, I haven't described any of these characters' kits to you other than Chlorine.
No.
But
and so that's the thing is, I'm wondering if I just start with this one, or if I start with the other one. Did on a little bit. So then just start from here and.
Yep, just hit start. So wow, the game's being nice to you. A crit buff. Then generally speaking, that's the best you have to beat both sides in under 3 minutes to be able to get the full 3-star rewards. So that's the hardest difficulty to clear.
Right.
You
Good-
can do whatever.
good to
and
start.
yeah, go. And
All right.
unless you ask for help, I'm not gonna give you advice on like how to rotate or do anything, whatever.
Right. Yeah. I got to see. Remember what I was doing. Characters.
It's so funny. I'm glad I don't. I'm glad I don't have to have proof. This is just evident enough that I don't have to give proof to why. So people can definitely tell you're not a Genshin player.
Right.
This might be harder for you to do than I expected.
Oh, 100% it would be. You like just based on the amount of like, oh, you have to do this character and this, then get this character to this character. And that there's a time limit. But part of this is me just, figuring out, of course, what is what do all these different characters do?
Yep.
Oh, she realized that much health? Okay. Wait, that was the full round.
That was 3 out of 9 enemies. There's 3
Oh
waves
my
of
god.
these.
Okay, I'm just gonna do this because it did a lot of damage last time.
Oh boy. Yep, I'm definitely gonna have to give you some more specifics on things to do. Oh, it's really fun watching this. I'm sorry. It's just really funny.
I'm just spamming Matt, and
No, I
I'm
understand.
killing
Yeah.
them, so I'm winning. Yep. All right, I'm just gonna take my time here and gather my bearings.
It was
So I'm
funny.
trying
It's
to think
like,
about like
you have
if
no
I was to-
framework for what a lot of damage is either. So
Right. Well, that's the thing too. So I see numbers. Well, I know now that 1,000 is just nothing because it's taking forever to whittle this guy down. Versus like that girl was doing 30,000 with her bike, which I'm gonna use again because that was fun.
yeah.
Also, what I'm curious about is how long does it take for you as a new Genshin player, or as a veteran Genshin player to learn a new character? Because clearly they have very unique ways that they are played.
I am very used to how they design a lot of characters, so the character kits are all unique, but at the same time they follow similar trends. No, that's a bad way to explain it. I'm just basically quite used to having how.
You hit him.
I'm just quite used to how they describe character kits, so I can read a character kit and generally speaking understand how to play without seeing it.
Right.
Just
Which,
understand the
does
game
make
mechanics,
sense.
right?
But in order to feel like you're actually fluidly playing with the character, how long does that take?
And I just zooped away from the ruin guard.
I feel like I'm I need to not try to attack at a distance. That's part of the issue. Why did I switch to him?
Yeah, I don't know. The amount of knowledge
I've got no
I have.
clue what this girl does. She flies
So-
around on her gun.
I'll just tell you for this one. After you jump in the air, hold the normal attack. I'll look at what the button.
Ooh, spinny sword.
Yeah.
Only 100 damage. All right, let's see if I can even just kill this guy because that's going to be a problem if I can't do that. So you said regular
So just
attack.
Hold L2. Hold
Wait.
L2.
Oh, L2. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So see the little bullet.
That's
tap.
cool.
This is kind of one of the hardest chambers in this current abyss.
You just said this is one of the easiest abysses that they've ever had.
No, yeah, I'm just saying. Yes, it's one of the easiest abysses they've had in a while.
Oh.
Not
Oh, I
ever.
just
Not
lost
that they've ever had, but one of the easiest abysses they've had in a while. Yeah, he's doing spin to win on you. Rip.
All right, let's see if I can at least beat this guy. Yeah, I like her because I feel like I can do a lot of damage, but I'm not having to do anything that's very highly technical. Don't know if it's actually a lot of damage, but it's a lot of damage to me. Come on. Oh, he died, that's why. Oh, there's another one?
There's 5 enemies in this chamber.
Fuck, I've only done 3, right?
Yeah, there's 3 of these guys and 2 of the big ones. It's really funny because this reminds me of my first time when I played this game mode forever ago. And it's just it feels like endless waves of extremely tanky enemies.
I do have to say that that's one of the things that, it's funny because I guess with Elden Ring, it kind of is still feeling like you have you're dealing with tanky enemies. But feel like I make more progress against bosses and stuff in Elden Ring, whereas this
Yeah.
does feel like, oh, I'm just like hidden against a giant sponge.
By the way, the timer on the top. So you mentioned it's going to kick you
There
out.
is an actual timer.
Yeah, but it was 10 minutes, and
You thought I could beat this in what 3 minutes? I'm just gonna let the timer go out. It's worthless to try to fight against this thing. I've heard no one's beaten it. It's too strong. I feel like the best thing is for me to get a team that's like, hey, this is what you have to do, and just keep doing this, and you'll be able to do it then.
if we start, so first of all, this team, 4 on-field units.
Right.
So
Again, this was the team I picked purely because of how I thought they looked. This one again was nice because it was easy.
Yeah. So if you want to reconfigure,
But I liked
this
playing
team,
Chlorine. She was the only one I actually
Okay,
liked playing.
okay.
I didn't actually fully die, but I got mostly blasted
Yeah.
when I tried to just play it.
Let's see, what team should I recommend? Considering you're getting mostly blasted, I think instead of Calve, let's switch to Kirara, and then go down, switch to Fischl. She's another 4-star. She's 2 down, 1 right. And then last slot, so I'm gonna say actually just go 1 right. Just use the one to the right.
This one?
Yeah, use her.
And then so this one, so I like playing as her. In this
Yeah.
side, I didn't really know what I was doing whatsoever. Her car was fun, but I don't think that was anything particular. So I want you to tell me, what's the character you think, oh, this one would probably feels nicest to like play as?
I mean, you can definitely play around Neuvillette, and this team can work. I think Chiori is the one you replace. The main thing you need to get used to, so the main flaw you had in your gameplay is that you were just like using one character and staying on field with them.
Yes.
The basic gameplay loop is going to be, for example, use Mawika's E and her Q, and then you swap off of her, and then you like use Chiori EQ, and if the burst is not available on Chiori, it wouldn't matter. And then Auron, use EQ. His should always be available. And then you switch to Neuvillette,
Let me check something
EQ
real
on
quick.
him, and then you do...
EQ. That means...
Oh, sorry. Oh, yep. Lingo. If you were playing a mouse and keyboard, you would understand that because it's the button presses.
Yeah.
So E is R2. It's the skill ability.
Okay, yeah.
And then Q is the ultimate.
Okay.
Which is the triangle. So, yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. I was pretty sure that was what they were, but I was like, I think that those are the keyboard.
Yeah. So in this team, the ideal rotation would actually be Neuvillette E into Auron EQ, and then that allows Auron to trigger a reaction as soon as you switch to him and do his EQ.
This,
Yeah.
and then
you do EQ on him.
do both. Okay.
Yeah. So skill, and he doesn't have the energy right now. You do his burst, and then as soon as his burst done, you swap to Muika. You do her E, and her E, when you press her E, you can see a little.
Which
thing.
E is R2?
R2, yes.
Or...
yes, skill. See, it has a little and that just does targeted pyro damage to enemies off field.
Okay, so don't stay, even though the motorcycle sticks around, don't stay on it.
You can stay on field because she has the option of doing that.
Right.
But in this team, it would be better for you as configured to go to Neuvillette. A weird thing with Chiori that's going to feel slightly weird, press a skill, so press R2 and then press R2 again. Yeah, and then, there you go.
Okay.
Which is kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, so then with him, so then how do I time out when I'm actually going through the loop of, this person, and then back to him, and he's the one that I'm assuming I'm just attacking with. So yeah, normally do I just keep switching all the time?
So him, you're always doing those big beam charge attacks, basically. And
then when that's all used up, do I start over? Or?
Yeah, you just hold L2 again to absorb more balls, and then, and you do that 3 times, and then once you're done, you would do a skill again, repeat the loop.
Okay, so I can use the L2 like as many times as there's the balls around?
Yes. Other thing, I guess, Neuvillette, when you're doing his beam, he can slowly strafe, so you can slowly move away.
Right, I noticed that.
While you're like moving the beam.
Now here's the big question: do I just try seeing how well I can do this with this one team, and just kind of forgo the fact that I've got a whole other team to learn? Or
if you want to you can go practice this team because I think one big thing you just need to get used to the dynamic of switching between characters constantly.
Yep, we'll see. Yeah.
You are not
Could have used his burst there, but no.
Yeah, I should have used his burst. I forgot about that.
Here you definitely use his burst because so you absorb the 3 balls, right? And then
okay.
Because it's gonna absorb 3 balls per charge attack. His burst spawns 6, right? So his skill will let you do 1 beam, and then his burst will let you do 2 beams, right? So that's why you do skill and burst, and you should be able to do 3 charge attacks per rotation. Yeah, you got whacked there. I think those enemies are dead.
see what you mean by it can be nice to not get interrupted by
Yeah.
people. So I keep getting annoyed by that. Oh, I should have used this first.
I'm getting sick.
Cancel the start.
Wait, so he's got a... We did... Oh, never mind. I put those walls down. Okay.
Yeah, you could have done another charge attack there. You also canceled one of the charge attacks early, actually.
Yeah, I did. And then, right, she doesn't have a second one.
Nice. Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad
And then
for
I'm
your
just gonna-
first time at figuring out how to do things. So her is pretty simple. When you press her skill, she puts a little bird down on field. And that spits electro on enemies. What you're going to want to do with her is basically her abilities have really long cooldowns, but her skill spawns that bird, and so does her burst. So that means you're going to actually... This is the...
Alternate?
Yeah, so when you press her skill, you get a shield.
Yeah, shield.
Pressing her skill once is fine, mostly. You could just press skill and then press burst, and there's basically just a big instance of damage and applies a bunch of the element around on the enemies. Shallonen is going to be very easy, so you don't have to use Shalonen's burst, other than when you need a heal, because that's what her burst does. Her burst will heal you.
Yeah. And this,
So-
I assume, heals the current person out or everyone on the team?
She only heals the current active character. So you press her R2, press her skill. She goes into this little rollerblade mode, and then you do normal attack twice. When you actually hit an enemy with that, her bar will fill up, and then it'll disappear, and then it'll activate a buff.
Okay.
And
So when
that's
you get
all you have to do.
the skill all the way up, then it makes the buff that other people can take advantage of.
Yep. From there, you can switch to Chlorinde and do Chlorine's skill. And her dynamic, if you
Right.
didn't remember, is you activate her skill, do 3 normal attacks. You can also tell by staring. If you want to stare at the HP bar, but you're probably going to want to stare at enemies. But if you want to stare at the HP bar, on top of the audio cue, when that little red bar reaches the middle is when you use her skill again. Right? So you can see it's going up in thirds, right? Chlorinde also, by the way, heals herself a little bit when you use her skill.
Last question is, it's got the same thing where it's like the first fight is the mobs, the second fight is like kind of the bigger boss like enemies. Yeah. Is that the same for every single match of these teams? Like, is one team going to be fighting mobs and the other one going to be fighting individual?
Yes. The first side is an AoE side with multiple enemies at the same time, and the second side is single target.
That's everything?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So much information in my head.
I know. This is 8 characters in the game, and very rudimentary information.
Right.
And
yeah. Wait. So how many characters are there in total?
I actually don't know. It's like around 100 at this point.
Do you feel like if someone asked you about which character, you could be like, oh, I know how that one would fit into?
Yeah. So you might struggle in the third chamber if you get to the third chamber, but yeah, we'll get there when we get there. A little doll in the face. That's camera pose.
Wait, so aren't those the orbs?
Yeah, you gotta hold.
Oh, I have to
L2
click it again. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
You could have just swapped back.
Yeah. I'm already in a loop. Don't break my loop, Matt.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I understand. Yeah, you want to
I noticed I had my burst too.
Yeah.
Gonna use my burst. There we go. Oh, I didn't even have the. Is it because I have to do it quickly enough? I assume.
Well, I don't think you had any left over, but yeah, they despawn after a amount of time.
That makes sense. Oh, I was trying to switch to that. Okay. Well, I still feel like I'm grokking that one, but this is a completely different one. And what my problem with this room is, of course, this wouldn't happen to someone who plays this game and actually plays these characters in the overworld. But I completely forget what these ones do, and I can't practice it before I start, so we're just going to do it live. I forget specifically what this one does, because the one with the shield, I don't remember, I hold a little bit.
Official is just use her skill or use her burst. and you only have to use
Right,
one
right.
of them. Yep. You didn't burst into there, but
Oh, right.
new enemy spawned in the Levi opening. You can use Counter Burst. Yep, there you go. Yep. And from there, it's pretty much loop. Yep. It's
Didn't
fine.
hold it.
It's fine. It's not being held.
Got my buttons messed up for a
Yeah.
second.
If you do control the direction of your joystick, your joystick, by the way, will control the direction she dashes when you do her skill.
Mm-hmm.
And you do want to technically dash into enemies because that will deal damage. With that dash attack. I believe if you're not angling the joystick at all, it will auto-target towards the enemy.
Oh, okay. You're taking the movement joystick.
Yes.
What the heck? Oh, wrong one again. I keep on getting confused between triangle and or the burst and the
Yeah, yeah.
regular attacks.
So you were not that far away from 3-starring. You can go to the next chamber if you want to practice. You with a little bit more retry here, like you can definitely play this.
It's definitely like the solidifying the loop because every once in a while it'd be like, oh, I veered off slightly, and then my brain would just go into a fog, centering myself.
Yep.
Thinking, what do I have to do with this group? Okay, I think I remember.
So this one's just a ton of different enemies that spawn constantly.
Oh, I don't even have his ultimate, and I did. Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, it came back because you get energy.
Stop
from
hitting me!
so.
Oh wait, no, gotta go back. Wait, so excuse me, do I have to like optimally use those orbs, or are they just some of them disappear and some of them don't? Because it feels like I keep only having one of the stream thing. I'm not like reusing it.
Yeah, it's because you're not using your burst mostly.
Okay. That would also explain it, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because of that. Or you just like end up like you a couple times you've done like one charge attack on him and then you just swap off rather than doing more charge attacks. Or you end charge attack really or whatever, or they expire because of it had been too long since you last used them or whatever. So it's just minor things that like you get used to after using the character basically.
I mean, definitely with the. Oh, I'm already at honor. God damn it. The timing aspect of it, making sure that I am doing things in the right order for getting things like to take advantage of buffs or to take advantage of like those orb things is the thing that's hardest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Need to reset. Think. Just gonna give myself this is not fast, I know, but I just need to get this loop down again.
Yep.
Also, I never use the dash button. I'm just too focused on all the other buttons.
That's fine, I think.
So do you normally just see this many little cinematics?
I tend to prefer teams that do not have this many 5-stars. Because I don't like having that many cinematics constantly playing.
Yeah, I kind of find it a bother.
Yeah, I do. But people call me weird for liking 4-stars for not having those animations.
Oh wait, it's specifically like a certain.
Yeah, like Auron is a 4-star and he doesn't have that animation if you didn't notice. He doesn't.
Huh.
He doesn't have a special like cinematic animation. That is. Yeah.
That doesn't eat into the actual time, does it?
It does.
It does? That's crazy.
Yeah. To be clear, you can still have off abilities like Fischl's bird firing damage, right? That damage still happens while you're in that burst animation, so you can still have things happening, technically, but not every team would actually be doing damage in that circumstance. I don't think you did Shalom.
I did.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see the boss active.
I may have messed it up.
So I think what actually happened is this boss has an annoying animation where it like charges up and like boom, and it like goes up in the air and it comes back down, and you can't hit it at that point. And if your normal attack wasn't contacting, you weren't actually activating or filling her bar, right?
I got killed.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I kept feeling like I was not able to avoid that because I was just staying next to him.
So-
do I need to try to avoid that big attack?
Jump.
Oh, jump!
So this enemy
Okay.
has like a little anti-grav effect that
Yeah.
it has a big hit of AoE damage. You can tank a few of those hits. I think the Kirara shield tanks like I think 1 or 2 of those hits. They're really big damage, but
So it's that hit right there.
yeah. But if you watch for the shield going away, which is more things to pay attention to. I think the duration on Kirara's shield is only 12 seconds. So I think that's what happened is the duration on her
Right.
shield ended. I don't think her shield actually broke. I didn't realize that enemy moved. I thought he always stayed in the middle.
Whoops, did not mean to do it that order.
There you go.
Oh, hey.
Nice. Another 2-star. There's a lot you can do to do better clearing faster
Yeah,
than the Nubilat team.
The first one I did not. Am I just not hitting enough of the enemies? Do I need to be positioning
Yeah, you
myself
can just
better to hit everyone?
exactly. That's a lot of what you can do. Is you can just position yourself better and like get his beam to hit more enemies at the same time.
Damn it.
Yeah, these enemies are going to do a bunch of attacks that are going to be a little bit annoying for you to dodge, but here you'll probably want to utilize Nubilat's ability to be ranged and just strafe a bit away from them.
Yeah.
And by the way, use your skill again when you swap back to Nubilat too.
This skill?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it exactly like you did there, where you just use it after.
Oh, to give myself more of these beams?
Yes.
Oh, because it can recover by the next time I'm doing.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, okay, come
And
on,
you use
yes.
skill. It's right there.
Well, I have to use his skills.
You don't have to. You don't have to. It just helps a little bit for how this team functions. There's weird min-maxing you can do it when exactly
yeah.
to use Nubilat's skill again between different charge attacks and whatever. You can see you got skill cooldown back, so you can use the skill again here, for example.
Right.
Yeah, this is just 2 waves of the same enemies.
I didn't use all the orbs I had on the field.
There's the problem I talk about, where you aimed and you were in the air a little bit.
Oh, okay. Just finish this.
Yeah, you got this one down. So this
Yeah.
this boss is the one I mentioned that wants an ice character, because it basically has a mechanic where you can freeze it, but it also does some pretty big damage too. But I think you should be able to take it from this team. So we'll see how it goes.
Wait, my shield's already gone?
This is one of the immunity phases. So this would be normally where if you put ice on it, it will freeze it and prevent immunities.
Okay.
He's
And then what I do here is I just attack it anyway.
Yeah, so he's going to do a big hit there, but you were able to tank it because you had the shield, but it still got through the shield because that does a lot of damage.
Right.
That could have been an opportunity to use that. But yeah, so this mechanic here, reverse is fine. You actually managed to hit all them because she has a big AoE in her burst, but it spawns a little bit of like windy orbs around. And you have to hit those with elements to be able to stun it here.
Yeah, I want to do this, then this. Because she's almost dead.
I think I was correct. It is definitely doable. That's what I'm seeing here. I don't think you're gonna do it. Sorry to be pessimistic, but
Yeah.
I think it actually.
No,
is
I think
very
that's
doable.
true. I feel like I'm floundering a bit here, but I do have some semblance of understanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Oh man.
Rip.
Okay, so that was the big attack.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try this one, and then I'll see about switching out for the ice
sure.
again, and then maybe switching out that Chiori. But everyone else, seemed pretty good. See, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I understand.
All right.
And that was the kind of
Yeah.
ability I was talking about, saving your burst for iframing.
There's no optimal gameplay if you're dead.
So our option here is we could swap Kirara for a stronger unit, and then
Okay.
swap Shalonen for a ice shielder.
This one?
Yes. Yep.
One with the pillow.
Yep. St. Lolly. So yeah, this team is going to be simply, you already know Official is going to be alternate if need be. Farina is you press her skill and her burst, and then Sitlali is the same thing, do skill and burst.
Okay.
So this one will be a little bit of an animation heavy team.
So many sidekicks in this team.
Easiest option here for you, right below Nubilat, the dude named Kazuha.
Oh, right.
Yep. he yoinks elements on enemies and then moves them around to other enemies and deals a bunch of damage when he does that. And then he also buffs based on whatever things he absorbs. But more importantly, in your context, this is going to stagger enemies a lot, and it is going to group them. So for chambers 1 and 2, it's probably going to trivialize it.
Nice.
So
I was just thinking about something because he also looks to me like a main character. And then I just thought about it a little bit more, and I'm looking at them, and pretty much everyone looks like a main character in this game.
Yeah.
That
might be
varying
on purpose.
levels of whether I'd watch them as a main character. Like Auroron, definitely. And with this, I never have to play Genshin Impact again, right? I've beaten the game.
Pretty much.
Let's figure out all the stuff I've forgotten. Talking too long.
If you hold his skill, by the way, he'll suck in enemies a little bit stronger.
The
jumpy boy.
Yeah, Jumpy Boy.
Yep.
Glad we've established vernacular for him. Oh. Nope. Switch him.
Downside, I suppose, is we did make this team a little bit less tanky. But it's fine. Neither is healing when you burst.
And I messed up the loop again.
Testing my patience. Will meet.
I was just desperate to end that one, and I was like, oh man, I messed up right at the end.
Yep.
Something that wasn't necessarily clear to me when you were explaining it, but for the bursts, those I get back based on how much damage I've been doing, or how do bursts come back?
That's a whole mechanic in this game. There's an energy system, so characters generate energy. There's different energy particles of different types. So for Fischl's energy...
We talking gluons and muons?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So yeah, you can swap off of her. Oh, you didn't do so.
Wait, I swapped the wrong one. Oh yeah, I fat fingered it. Whatever. Let's live with this for now.
This is a minor problem. I don't think it's going to cause any issue in this case, but it's probably slightly better for both Farina and Sweet Lolly to do skill into burst. And the reason is because you'll deal some damage, and those energy particles I was talking about, you'll catch them while the burst animation is happening.
Okay.
I think I have enough extra energy built in these characters that it doesn't matter. But like, I think it's something worth calling out, and that it's like a slight, minor, inoptimal thing that normally you would skill into burst with these characters.
Wait, so you're saying that you have like yeah, I guess it's just like.
So you can build a stat. So there's a stat called energy recharge that. So those energy particles restore a certain amount of energy based on the type of particles they are relative to the character's elemental type. And you're going to clear here, by the way, with like 40 seconds to spare. Told you Kazuo was overpowered, and also this team is pretty good too at causing damage.
Nice.
So wait until you get the burst back. Oh, yeah, good, that's fine. I wouldn't have done that, but so you can just, to be safe, you can just skip Auron. I would go to Auron, use his skill, but then just swap off of him and do more.
Well, that's what I tried to do, but it was just
well, yeah, just avoid it.
It gone too quickly.
Forehead, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I forgot Kazuo. Oh yeah, Kazuo is extremely OP in this chamber, even more OP than he normally is because you're applying Pyro, which is getting you bonus damage on you with that. Yeah, you can see your HP is back because of that burst pre-restoral thing. That kind of is making you impossible to die here. As soon as you survive that first wave, at least.
Yeah. That's how I figured I was gonna be able to recover by then. I did this one in the wrong order again.
I think you'll be fine. Well, 0
What
time.
What happened there?
He threw slimes at you and the camera whacked out because you got interrupted, I think. If you were a little bit closer, then they wouldn't do the ranged attack instead of
Oh, that was the ranged attack?
Yeah. I'll switch over. You had You played so poorly in the first side that you're gonna have to now play better on this side, or in the first chamber.
Am I gonna be able to? There we go.
This is why I use Fab on Farina. I'm not going to explain what Fab is, but this is why I use it on her. You might want to use her burst.
Do the enemies and oh they do, okay.
So next time I would use her burst before you use skill. Can help you with HP.
Well, but so I was gonna ask, the enemies' attacks continue the animations through the
Yes.
through your own. Gosh. Okay.
Oh.
Yep. I'm
Just don't die. Don't die.
low. I'm low. Okay.
Oh, use it, Lily. Use the burst. Attack. Oh, you got it. 7-6 is very, not even close. You're fine. Almost died, but you're fine.
But my problem is that my health is so low for the next fight. But
There's the third chamber always has a guaranteed third card that allows you to get 25% of your HP back at least.
all right. Okay, didn't go very high there.
Yeah, you can't really group these. These enemies are too heavy. So it doesn't really matter that much. You just do Kazuha for the little bit of damage he does in the buffing.
Okay.
Wham. Disrespected.
Yeah. So he can. So that's not like a invincibility thing. I just have a lot of poise, I guess.
You don't have that much poise.
Well,
but
the Nouvelette ability wasn't.
no,
Sorry.
it's pretty easy to get interrupted with Nuvula. You've just been mostly avoiding the enemies, and Kazuha in
I
the
guess I
team
can sliding
some of
around
the enemies.
helps.
Yeah, you're sliding around constantly is basically what's avoiding the damage. But you
That
were
one
too-
felt pretty good.
Yeah, that was very good. Oh wait, you have your burst already.
Oh, I already have it.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, just use Fischl. Use her. Wait for her.
Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
There we go. You can see it stunned it. Yeah, it didn't go into its annoying thing before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got it now.
Nice.
So that you don't bungle up hard.
That's very possible. Lost him. Oh, jeez.
Very nice. Good with
That
easy
just-
time to spare. Yep.
Blitz through him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, there you go.
So wait, what I want to know: do people consider that you've actually beaten this when you retry through the rounds too, or is it just something
yeah.
that like
Oh yeah. But yeah. Anyways, you beat the game technically. It's all done.
beat the game?
Nothing
And now
to
I'm gonna
do.
go.
Yeah.
Ooh, this sounds fun. But yeah, so I've watched you play, but to me it's just numbers. But
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I actually have some idea of knowing
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to particularly be looking at is because for me, again, what I'm doing the entire time, I guess I should use your skill. But yeah, completing my thought, it'll be very interesting to see because when I was playing, again, my mind was mostly focused on I like need to know what character I'm using next, and then whether I have the burst with them and whatever.
Yep.
And I was never even really looking at the enemies. I was just looking at the right side of the screen.
I kind of noticed. Yeah.
I'm wondering when you play, how do you just trust that the things have like refreshed themselves in the time span that you need them to, or are you keeping an eye out for when things like bursts show up on the right?
I've gotten so most teams in this game have like 20-second rotations, and cooldowns tend to line up in those times.
I dig the just talking about the vistas here, sort of budget models and textures.
Yeah. I don't know.
But this, I like the vista here. It's very nice. If I just hit the ground, do I take fall damage?
Yes.
Now you're testing my patience. Will.
I probably should use Mega Burst. Okay.
I'm getting sick.
Now you're testing my patience. Tell me what you see. Too slow. Free.
Oh, good stuff. Okay.
The fact that you switch between the cinematics pretty much with no downtime.
Meat.
Too much for me.
I could get like at least 5 seconds faster than that.
Get to work. You two. Time to end. Ready.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably almost as good as mine was.